number 4. I am Lick. Alongside me today is the wonderful Mr. Liam. You just happened to watch a fantastic game between Wonka's Wonders and Vicious and Delicious. And back again with us in this game will be Vicious and Delicious, who will be on the blue team. And then we have Red Red Redemption, who shall be on orange. Do we happen to have maybe an idea of how this game's going to play out today?
So today these teams, I think they're quite evenly matched. When you go through it and you look back at the stats, just we'll see what sort of rosters they bring to the table and how that can affect it today.
That is always definitely something that you have to think about, especially because, let me take a quick gander here. Red Red Redemption have already played today, so this is their second game. So potentially they might be a little tired. They have had an hour break, it looks like, or at least a game's worth of break. Sadly, they did lose that, so they're looking to get the win at least on this one. And also, Vicious and Delicious just recently played, so they're coming back into this one just off of a loss, sadly. It was a very close one, it was just one round away. So we will have to wait and see if potentially the small break that Red Red got is in their favor, or maybe Vicious and Delicious, considering that they just came off of a game, see if maybe they have a little extra, we'll say, skip in their step, considering that they lost, so they're looking for a little bit of revenge. So if you want to let the teams know that they are good to start banning, that would be wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm just letting them know now. I'll tell them to go ahead. Okay, go ahead with the bans. And that's the message sent out. Hopefully the teams start to ban and we'll be able to spectate that momentarily.
If not, we'll just sit here and we'll just stare at this wonderful custom game screen that we have up on the board for you. That, and you get to
Yep.
see everybody who's playing today. So if you got a favorite player, root for them. If not, don't say anything. It looks like Coastline is going to be one of our first maps taken off of the board, and as soon as I say that, Cafe comes off. Is there a map that we're looking to see between these two? I'm gonna guess that you didn't hear what I said, so I will repeat myself.
No,
Coastline
yeah,
Academy.
sorry,
No, you're
yeah.
fine. You're
I
fine.
just turned the dial on the mix amp the opposite way, and instead of the volume coming through from the party chat, it came through from the stream I've got up on the TV. So the delay.
Yes. But Coastline Cafe are gone, so that leaves us with Bank, Border, Clubhouse, Consulate, and Villa. And as soon as I say that, Consulate goes away. But is there a map that you would like to see between these two?
Oh, on these two, I think so. They haven't got rid of Bank yet, I believe.
No, Bank is
Bank's still
still
on
on
the
the board.
board.
Border just went though.
Yeah, these two teams with Bank, I think, would be quite interesting because you have a lot of roamers. Well, you have some guys that like to play the roam game, but then with these two teams, I think they're more anchor teams. You've got the Vicious and Delicious that you've got the Capcan main there. I mean, and then on the other team you've got the Slypus from the Red Dread, and he's like Elysium main slash anchor of the site as well. So I think these two teams are quite anchor friendly. So for Bank, it'd be interesting to see if someone actually pulls off a roam if it stays on the board. That is.
Yes. Well, it looks like Bank is one of our last two maps alongside Villa. I do like the idea of seeing how the anchors might play out on Bank, but obviously my favorite always to cast is Villa because it is a very interesting map and a very wonderful way to set up. And as soon as I say that, Villa goes off the board. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to Bank in this game,
Yep.
and and it looks like Vicious and Delicious are going to start out on defense here. So let's get this party started between Vicious and Delicious against Red Dread Redemption.
Yep, so like I say, I'm looking forward to this. I want to see what sort of roam game these players come out with because looking at the rosters, you don't see much of these guys roaming apart from if Wesley's still playing there, I think he was playing for the Red Dread. He sort of goes on a roam, but I believe he goes solo, and it's really hard on a map like Bank to solo roam. I think if the attackers all flood the top floor and do the top down clear.
Hmm. I mean, and it looks like Thermite will be our first attacker banned here. And Bank is obviously a difficult map to roam on, considering one of the main. Actually, all three stairs, there is a skylight watching them. So you can easily cut off rotations between the top and first floor just from that. It looks like Zofia will be our next one that is gone here. So like roaming is fairly difficult on Bank unless you're very inventive, I would say. So it will be interesting to see if potentially the anchor side of the defense will be the ones to win it rather than the roaming. And Mira just went off the board, so a very strong roamer or anchor. You can roam with Mira if you want. It would be interesting to see. But
Yeah, I would like to see a mirror roam. I would
just
like to
running
see that.
around like she keeps one of those black mirrors and just uses it as a shield to pull out like the shotgun. And then there
Yeah.
we go. Echo will be our final defender here. No big surprise. Echo seems to be one of our most banned operators in this tournament so far. Excuse me. Feels like I might be a little under the weather.
Oh, not another one. I think we had a caster go down today from the flu, so.
Ah, it's alright. I can toughen it out. I'm a big, strong boy.
Oh, okay, yeah, I
250
see.
pounds of strong boy.
Yeah, you can handle a little bit of a flu, can you? So
Yes.
as long as you stay, then we're good. I think we can't afford for you to go down now. Like no.
Especially since we are on day 4, we have, I do believe, at least 3 more days worth of games to do. And it looks like our first defensive site will be lockers, all the way down in the basement. Typically, a really good site to start out on. The one site that always kind of throws me off when I see it come up for an opening defense is CEO. So it's kind of good to see a little bit normality come in with this one.
Yeah. It looks like Jamie Killer's
Attackers
either
need
going
to
to
locate
play,
and defuse as
the
many bombs
server
as they
hold
can.
blue stairs, or he might do a roam with the Jaeger. Other operators on defense there don't really see them being too viable for the roam. You'd want somebody like a Mozzie or a Vigil to do that, wouldn't you? And none of the well, maybe the Valk. She's quite viable if she uses her cams for some flanks and some self-fusions. But other than that, if she keeps it
Attackers
light,
located
she'll
the
be
bomb.
viable later on during the round.
Little surprising here that we have both 3 armors in Maestro and Kaid coming up here to
10
do the
seconds
hatches.
remaining.
Typically, you would need somebody that's a little faster, such as
5
your
seconds left.
Jaeger or even your Mute. But it looks like we came up here, but
Attackers
we
are
didn't really
moving to
do
defuse
much.
the bomb.
Potentially, we did a decent amount of setup over here in Blue Stairs. Can't really see if we've got. Just happened to see it there. If you can pick it up, right there in the little tiny corner, we have one of those signal disruptors. So it looks like we're gonna have somebody potentially play over on Blue Stairs.
I think that'll be key for the stop the attackers droning out the server that'll meet Jammer there, but they have the Thatcher to take care of that.
And it looks like Jaeger's already going to get picked up here in open area. It's going to get a little droned out. Looks like we have a second drone coming in from IQ. Try to be able to find him. It looks like he's just going to back off and go towards the main stairs there. But so far it looks like Buck and that would be the Maverick there of Wesley are going to be our first 2 attackers going to be into the building here. It looks like Jamie Killer is going to come all the way over into this little office here to try and see if he can maybe pull the attackers towards him, but it looks like he's just given up and given them free reign of open area to open up these 2 crucial hatches here. Looks like Jamie Killer's going to get taken out through the wall here. It looked like that was shots from not only the Buck, but also from the IQ, and it doesn't really look like anybody knows that he's down. He's going to get pinged. There we go. We're going to get some information that one of them has been down, so now we're to a 5v4 with the rest of the defending operators all sitting down here on site. Spread out, so that way they're able to collapse a little easier if they need to. And it sounds like we're already getting this one hatch done here, and surprisingly, this can be a little difficult with Maverick, especially if you're not all that well versed in it. But it looks like Wesley's going to be able to spot one of those Maestro cams there. looks like IQ's going to try and come down in here and potentially try and get the shots onto the Kaid, but looks like Kaid's going to head on out and save himself. He's going to move back over here into the little red hallway, or secure hallway. But he's lost a fair amount of his health here, and it looks like we're going to do solid push here, at least from servers, to try and see if maybe we can try and do a little plant over here as we get the rest of the team starting to come over. It looks like the only person that hasn't truly come around over here yet, oh, as soon as I say that, there's the rest of the team, except for Buck, who will be over here on the hatch in the little office. Other than that, it looks like we're just going to be trying to get a little bit of intel. It looks like Fury's going to be hanging out on this Maestro cam, trying to see if anybody comes in for the spot here. And it looks like IQ's going to go for it, which might be a little bit of a bad idea, but there we go. The Maestro cam gets taken out here. Boggers is going to come through. Sadly, the C4 from Amin misses.
Seconds to go.
So, but we're still trying to get that. And there we go. Cinnamon's able to retaliate with the C4 there. But it looks like Buck's going to get him from up top. We've just got kill after kill after kill. It is a 2v2. It is just the Maestro and the Kaid left. And we did have the Thatcher, but there we go. Defenders win round number 1 on time with a wonderful flurry of violence just coming out in the very last few seconds of that round.
Yeah, I think the 3 armor of the Maestro pushing up there and stopping, denying that plant after the C4 sort of failed to deal with the planter there in that situation was really key there. You know, he just sort of went forward with that big magazine that he's got, you know, the 81 bullets or such, and you know, he laid them down and took out the defenders when they were trying to get that plant off. So well played to the Maestro there. It was very key at the end of that round.
I was about to say, Cinnamon did help to bring in that second C4 to be able to pick up where Amin wasn't able to land his C4, but Cinnamon was able to get his to prevent the plant even further, which was nice. So it looks like we're going to go to Teller's Archives for our second defense, and we're going to get a 6-pick off of the Kaid for a Jaeger, and it looks like we're going to bounce off of the IQ for whenever you want to, Boggers. You have all the time in the world. It looks like we're going to get Jackal here.
Okay, Jackal's not a bad shout on Bank. I do rate Jackal on Bank because you saw it earlier, Jamie was on the roam with Jaeger. Unfortunately, there's not much utility that he had to aid him with that roam. You know, like I said, with the Mozzie coming in or the Vigil to help slow down the drone and as such. But when you've got a Jackal on the board, it makes it even harder to roam. So I completely, no, I don't think Jackal's a bad shout, and I would have preferred to have banned him on this bank, if I'm honest.
Yeah. Really anybody that I would say would deny roam and potentially even like a post plant. So potentially like a Redlock or even a Nomad would have been another shout.
By attackers.
Because I mean, like just the track stingers cause a lot of issues, especially if you don't happen to have an explosive to create a solid hole for you.
5 seconds remaining.
And then Nomad, obviously, just a pain in the ass in general.
Attackers are heading out to defuse a bomb.
Oh yeah, you can hear it, but you don't know where it is. I mean, unless you can locate it and you go for that rotation, you probably almost always die because the Nomad, she uses her utility. She looks for the kills. They go along with that utility.
And it looks like Cinnamon's going to potentially be on a solid roam here, at least with being upstairs on the Valkyrie, or maybe placing a few last-minute cams and just on the opposite wall here of Cinnamon. We have Boggers and Wesley, and it looks like Cinnamon's going to get droned out here, at least from the Buck. Amin's going to come upstairs on the Legion and try and come over here towards office, and he's going over to Banana. And it looks like he's just going to drop all the way down. It looks like Buck's coming around because he's got the intel, but sadly, Cinnamon is no longer there. He's backed off towards the stairs, but it looks like we have the Jaeger coming up the main stairs here of Jamie Miller's going to try and take out the cam, but it looked like his foot was hanging out just a little bit. We're going to come back down to Amin here over by ATMs and see if he's going to be able to find anything, but he doesn't have any intel for him. And it looks like we're going to try and open up into CEO here, or at least Wesley will be there on the Nomad. And we're going to get some Jackal pings coming out here, as potentially it is on the Jaeger. Yes, it is. And he's decided to come all the way down to Garage, just so that way he can't get shot through all the floors.
Device planted.
It looks like we're going to place a couple of air jabs up here. It's a very good idea because it looks like what we're going to try and do is go for the floor here, try and open it up, which is good since we have the Nomad, still has 2 of those breach charges, plus we have the Buck. It would help if I went to the Buck. Plus we have the Buck, and not to mention, we do have the ITA-12S coming out from Jackal. And it looks like Amin will be the next one here, who gets Jackal pinged. And we get another C4 coming out here, but sadly it's not able to connect while we've got Som up here just trying to open up the floor so that he can find it. He is just above the Mossy, but sadly just isn't able to see him. He's going to come around the other side. He's not able to fully connect. It looks like Sly's just going to be holding an angle, trying to make sure nobody comes up from behind and picks up Jackal or the Hibana here, who we just have a little bit of openness into sight so far. Not a whole lot going on. Looks like we're just going to stay and pace ourselves and see what we can find. And there we go. Amin just doesn't realize that he's got some. Not only he had Wesley over here, but if you can hear it, there's one of those air jabs around here. See if we can find it. Sadly, we cannot. At least I can't see it. It looks like Boggers is going to take somebody out, but he gets instantly reflagged on himself. Well, I don't know if I can talk. Buck trying to come around using that skeleton key, see if he's going to be able to get the Valkyrie, but sadly he isn't able to get the down there, but he gets down by one of the Goo mines. Fury's on a double kill, and it looks like Jaeger's going to come in and be able to finish off the Buck. It's a 3v1, and all that is left is the Nomad, and they're going to get taken out. And Defenders this time win the round on frags.
Yeah, I have to say, Jamie played it really well at the start of that round. He got Jackal pinged, and like you called out, he went down to that garage. He stayed alive. He made them think and worry about the flank from below. I saw Sly Puss holding the angle on the blue stairs there, waiting for the rotate up, but they never held the angle on the main stairs. And I think he managed to rotate back up from the main stairs, and he made a good impact in the round later on in the round. He picked up 2 or 3 kills, and it's just a poor roam clear at that point. I think not much they could have done there.
Well, it looks like our next defense, we are going to go up to Executive and CEO. Sadly, they can't go back down to Basement because they have won that. And after this round, they should be able to go back and do that. The one site that I am a little surprised that I don't see very often in here is Open Area, and I want to say it's Cafe or Dining. It's the little kitchen room off the side of Open Area there. I would like to see people try and pull off a strat for that, for Bank. Try and make all 4 sites viable.
I have seen a good strat for this, and I can't remember for the life of which team it was. It possibly was Red Dread. But
attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
So maybe we see it come out later on, but I did see a good strat for it. I'm pretty sure it was against the blue team as well. It was a nice little strat they had for holding an open area, and I'd like to see it again. It looked interesting.
Doing my best not to land on people who are reinforcing, but there we go. So far, everyone I have gone to is reinforcing.
Yeah, let's see what Jamie can do again this round on the Jaeger. I think if he can go below and stay alive and keep those late flanks, main stairs or up the skylight stairs, he could be really influential in the next round. Looking for him to pick it up a bit, and I think they're mainly just relying on him as a sole roamer at the moment.
Locate and defuse a bomb.
That's what I feel a little bit, and a little surprised to actually see the bulletproof camera come out of the Jaeger. You don't actually see many people running the bulletproof camera on him.
It's a good use of the utility. I heard you ask earlier about the visual using one. Because you have someone on the team with impacts already, you have someone on the team with impacts to make rotation, and you want that bulletproof camera for the intel. It's not a bad shout. People forget about them.
Yeah, it's just a solid piece of intel that you can use. It looks like Jamie Killer is going to go all the way back down to the basement here, see if we might be able to grab anybody, or at least come up on a late roam here. And it looks like the main play is going to be wall over here, as we have Sly hanging up doing a little bit of overwatch from the skylight to support the Hibana. It sounds like she gets hit by one of those goo mines there. Already have one of those track stingers comes out, and it looks like Hibana's going to maybe go for the wall. Doesn't see the bulletproof camera. There we go. Able to see it. Sadly, the bulletproof cameras are impervious to bullets, but not to your fists.
Enemy located. Second floor.
And it looks like Amin potentially... I'm just going to see if maybe he's going to get the electric ball. There we go. Looks like he's going to be able to get one of the Hibana pellets here from Wes. He's going to be able to pull it back off, and I think that is all the EMPs there from Sly. We're going to take a quick gander. Yep, no more EMPs. So sadly, Hibana is not going to be able to open up this wall. We're going to have to find a new way. And it looks like Bogger's going to try and open up above, see what he can do, and it looks like Sly's going to come around, see if maybe he might be able to shoot into the office, but he's not able to really get anything from there. But Amin's going to try and come around.
Reloading my ammo.
And there we go. Dill's going to pick up the opening frag here on Fury, and there we go. It is just kicking off here. Sadly, all of the roamers aren't really going to be able to do anything. And it is just the Valkyrie and Jaeger left here, and Valkyrie's just in a little bit of a tight spot, not able to hit the Hibana here. She's going to try and come around from a different angle, and there we go. They get taken out. So all it is a 1v5 with Jamie Killer all by himself. He's got to come through those track stingers. And we've got the plant going off here already. And it looks like we're going to play it just by the window, and it looks like Jamie Killer's going to lose a lot of health to those track stingers. The sad thing is when you got to take him out, you lose a lot of health and also give your position away. He's going to have to try and come through the other ones. He's going to at least take down the Buck here. But he will get hit from Janitor, or Stock, I do believe. Whatever the hell the name of that room is, by the Jackal, and that will give attackers their first round.
Yep, that little closet there at the end was influential in that round. The attackers pretty much just entered from there. The wall was getting K-tricked, and they went, you know what, you're going to K-trick the wall, we're just going to push you in sight. You saw Sly go and repel in the south windows there, and he sort of wall-banged the closet. They probably droned it at the same time as he was wall-banging it, and then they realised there was no one in there, and you know, they made their entry into the site from there. They all funneled through the closet. They traded, they went for the frags, they covered each other, put on the crossfires. Sly was still in the window at the end of the round. Very well played from the attackers there. You know, if you're going to try and K-trick that wall, you need to have someone watching your flank or watching your cubby. Otherwise, the attackers will just flood right through there.
And, you know, that is... Oh, we almost had Amin bringing out the Tachanka, but sadly with the rework not here yet, he's not going to be as great as what we want him to be. But he will bring out the tried and true Kapkan here. We do have an IQ. We do have a Thatcher. The real question is who will use their utility and their ability as those operators to get rid of Kapkan traps.
Defenders, protect your bombs from
I'm
being
putting
defused by
money on
attackers.
that IQ doesn't use it for Kapkan traps. Because no IQs seem to do that, to be honest. I think the only IQ I've ever seen to take out Kapkan traps is probably Amin himself, because he's very well adversed in how effective they can be.
So typically, if you're new to this, we have an issue where even though the operators have the ability, or the attackers have the ability to take out Kapkan traps, or they spot Kapkan traps, they don't get rid of them. So what we are doing here is, with Amin, we are doing Kapkan Watch, to see if we can find where all the Kapkan traps are going to be, and see if anybody's going to run through them.
Yeah, and I dare say we will see one or two at least.
If not all of them. We have had several games where every single Kapkan trap gets detonated.
Yeah, but he's very smart with his placements. You can see where he's placed them there. He knows the high traffic locations. I mean, very well versed in the Kapkan play.
Have you covered.
It looks like Jamie Killer's going to be our roamer, and Amin able to pick up Wesley here, and that is Diffuser on the Hibana. So sadly, they're not going to be able to get into those hatches, and he's just got it over here in open area, and it looks like the only person that's going to be able to try and contest is Boggers, but he's over here on cam. They at least know where the Kapkan is. It looks like we're going to get into the room here, and it looks like Amin's just going to back off. It's a horrible idea. He's able to take down the main hard breacher here. It looks like Sly's going to back up Boggers here. But it looks like everybody has just fallen back down to sight, except for Jamie Killer, who's going to be all the way over towards the ATMs here. So from this, it looks like... And we have one Kapkan trap going off. Let's see if number 2 goes off here. Nope, we're able to spot it. Good job, IQ. And we also had an EMP come out from Thatcher. So there we go. But we're going to see where Dill has come down here on the Monty, and he's just going to be down here in Garage, and he is going to just be staring down the face of Cinnamon, who is able to take him out with a wonderful headshot. Let's see if we can get the same thing here on Buck. Buck's not able to sadly land any shots. However, Cinnamon did lose a fair amount of health. He's just going to back over to Vault here. And it looks like Bogger's going to come down to servers here. Scar's going to be able to pick him up, but does he know that the Thatcher's coming around? We're at a 5v2 with about a minute remaining into the match. And it looks like Buck's going to back off, and he's just going to try and find a new way. And there we go, Sly just to the other side, and he's able to finish off the mute to bring it down 4-2. But he's going to get taken out here by Jamie Killer out here on the roam, who has Diffuser over here in blue stairs. So sadly, it is Buck all by himself with about 45 seconds left. And he's going to have to try and find a way to get this kill. He's going to come up and he's going to see Jamie Killer, but I don't know if he's going to be able to get the shots here. Jamie Killer's going to back over and around, but sadly he gets taken out by Buck to bring it to a 3v1. We're going to see if Amid's going to come up here. Amid's going to be able to finish off the Buck to give his team round number 4.
Yeah, well played from the defenders there. I think nearly all of them got in the action, so at the start of the round, Amin picks up the Habana entering very quickly. A little roam with the Kapkan there up top. You know why he roamed up there is because he knew where his traps were and he had an audible cue when they were rushing. So he probably, thought, I'm going to stick here for a little minute or two, pick up a kill. Picked up a kill, rotated back down to site and played it safe. Then later on in the round we have the very good headshot from Lord Cinnamon onto the Montaigne there. It was a very good shot indeed. I could see the angle where it was quite tight, quite a pixel peak angle. Then we had Scar, the Dutch player, playing in server, just picking up the IQ. She probably didn't have the intel he was in there due to the mute jammers that he probably had down there. And then Jamie Killer again picking up the final kill at the end. Just, yeah, it was well played from all the defenders there. They all had the info and they played that round very well.
It's a very good round to help them bring them a little bit closer to a victory here. And it looks like we're going to go to Tellers and Archives this time around. Amin once again bringing out the Kapkan. This time Sly is going to bounce off of the Thatcher and move over to the Fuse, who could be a very deadly operator for this site. For the defenders, you just have to see if they're going to have any kind of placement or people upstairs to be able to help try and contest that.
Yeah, a little interesting fact about you here. Sly Puzzle is literally a Fuse. It's his most played operator. It's probably the operator he's most comfortable playing, and he knows some very good spots for those Fuse charges, especially on border. He's got an interesting one that can get right to the bathroom from above. So let's see what he can do with it on this site. It's very strong on this site. It'll clear a lot of utility below, if nothing else. And I think it's a good pick for him. He's probably feeling comfortable with the gun and the operator, and he's probably trying to get out of the bomb.
I mean, Fuse is always a fantastic operator to run. The AK is a wonderful weapon with fire rate. The GP41 or his LMG is also very good with the way that he can just basically hold angles. And then on top of that, you've got the shield. So, I mean, if you are fantastic with the PPM, you will just annihilate people.
Oh yeah, strong gun.
So it looks like we're going to have Bill be the first one coming into the building here, along with Sam, who will be on the Twitch this time around. So they're just trading some operators along with Wesley. Bogger so far isn't into the building yet, and we've got the Ash. Wesley is Ash, I just realized that. It looks like we're going to have a little bit of drone help over here and see if maybe we might be able to find anybody. We're going to put a Claymore all the way up here on the top of Red to prevent anybody from coming upstairs to try and prevent any of this floor opening, as you can see. And there we go. Boggers is going to be able to pick off Jamie Killer. So sadly, Jamie Killer's not going to be able to help out his team the way that he has been. Cinnamon able to pick up Dill with a C4, so that is the Buck gone. As you can tell, we have a cluster charge coming in. Sly being able to place 1, place 2, see if we're going to be able to get anybody here on this. It looks like Fury was in the way, but sadly he's able to get him around. At least for Sly, he's going to shoot through the doorway over here. And we have another one coming around. Last one, see if we're going to be able to grab anybody here. Looks like Scar is coming around, but luckily that ADS saved him, at least for the time being. Looks like Wes and Sam are going to be trying to come around, and it sounds like Valkyrie's going to get into a bit of a fight up here with Sly, and he's going to get downed here. Not overly certain if Sly knows that he's down to Valkyrie. It looks like he's looking around trying to see if he can find it. And there we go, Sly is able to finish it. We've got a flashbang coming out here from Wesley, trying to see if he can clear out Me's probably going to get flashed. He's getting chased by that Twitch drone. It looks like Fury's going to come around, and he's going to be able to finish off West. So it is a 2v3. Sly is going to drop down and see if he might be able to pick up the Mozzie. We've also got Sam coming in on the other side, trying to pick up a Mean, but he doesn't see that the Mozzie is right there, going to pull out the pistol. Sadly, he's going to lose. that fight. It's a 2v2 with Fury and Amin all by himself, and there we go. Amin's able to pick up the kill on Sly, and his teammate is down. He's going to try and pick him up, so all it is Boggers all by himself, and he doesn't have Diffuser, which is over in Tellers. He's going to have to try and come around and be able to pick this up. It is a 2v1. Amin and Fury are going to try and hold the same angle, potentially. No, Amin's going to move around. Fury's just going to hold the angle. They know that the diffuser's down at least, and there we go. Boggers is able to finish off Amin, but he's got the diffuser. He's going to have to try and go for a play, and he's going to be able to come around, and be able to finish Fury to give attackers round number 5.
Wow, that was some fast-paced action at the end there, and some very good shots from positively Boggers. That's a little bit of a tongue twister, isn't it?
Just a tad.
But yeah, it was a good push from the attackers. You know, they stacked up main lobby. They tried to go on and trade each other out, but unfortunately the trades didn't really go their way. But then, you know, positively Boggers comes in the backside from Skylight stairs, and gets the flank on. Knows the defender's 2 positions at that point and gets the 2 picks. Very well played. We did actually see Fuse get a Fuse kill.
We did
as well.
That always feels good.
You know, we have to give Sly some credit there on that one. It done its job. It cleared the utility, and he got a frag out of it. Well played to Sly on that one.
Well, it looks like we're going to go down to lockers and CCTV here on the swap, and Vicious and Delicious are going to be leading, at least on the swap, by 1 round, so hopefully they're going to be able to finish this out and pick up solid 3 on attack here and be able to get the win that they sadly missed out on in the last game. But who knows?
Yeah.
Siege is a weird game.
Attackers need to locate and defuse
It is
bombs.
indeed, and there's Sly there 6 picking onto his other main, his defensive main, the Legion. If he can do what he normally does, stay alive till the end of the round, those Legion traps will be a nightmare for the attackers later on. If the Thatcher's not on the board, follow them out, which he normally does if he stays alive. He gets them all out on you know, key positions like the stairs, the entry doorways to site. It can be a real pain in the ass later on in the round.
Yes, there's nothing worse than when you think that you fully have everything cleared out, you're good to rock and roll, and then you walk into a goo mine. You back up, pull it out,
5 seconds
push it a
remaining.
little forward, you hit another goo mine. And before like 10 seconds is gone, you've hit at least 15.
Yeah.
So yes, Legion is definitely a pain here. It looks like Wesley will be kind of our roamer, at least, and being over here on blue. Other than that, it looks like everybody else is going to relatively be close to sight. As soon as I say that, Boggers on the Jaeger goes sprinting upstairs to see what he can find.
We have a hashtag say no to Fuse in chat. I don't think the spectators are very happy with the Fuse play there.
I mean, if we can get that trending somewhere, I would be very proud of you guys. It would be amazing.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, it looks like we're going to figure out exactly what the hell the name of this room is. It's Janitor Closet. There we go. So Boggers is over here at Janitor Closet, and so far it looks like Fury is going to be one of the first attackers into the building here. Looked like he was maybe going to go for the hatch, but he decided he wasn't going to. Amin's going to try and open it up here with his bomb pellets. But surely from the noise that they're all making, it looks like Boggers is going to come around and be able to get some intel and try to come around and maybe pick somebody off here. Sounds like he's going to get droned out. There we go. We do have confirmation that Jamie Killer's going to be able to find him upstairs. And it looks like Scar's going to try and compete with the Jaeger here. So far, he's not overly sure. It looks like they're going to maybe potentially have somebody else drone him out.
A bomb has been located.
And there we go, we have Jamie Killer coming up here to support to go up against Boggers. And there we go, Boggers is able to take down Jamie Killer and see if he might be able to get the 2-piece. He's able to pick up the 2-piece and he's almost lost all of his health, but there we go, we have both SAS operators on the attack at least taken off the board. So all we have is Amin and Fury along with Cinnamon here on the Nomad. Just barely missing Smoke, who's just right down over here on blue stairs. Fury's able to pick up Boggers, so that is the terrible Jaeger off the board. And Wesley just happens to miss the head of Cinnamon there, but Cinnamon now knows where somebody's at, so he's going to try and hold a solid angle here. Looks like Amin's going to do a little bit more droning into sight and see what he can find for his team. Fury's going to do the same, and luckily his drone doesn't get taken out by those signal disruptors from the Mute. Looks like all we've got here so far on the defensive side is everybody's just holding an angle. We're waiting for the attackers to push, which is always a good idea when you're on defense. Looks like Amin's going to be the first one to drop down here, and he's going to be able to pick up Dill on the Mute. It's a 3v3. He's going to come around. He's able to down the Legion at least, but he still has that Gulag in it. And it looks like Fury's going to come over. Cinnamon's going to be able to take down Som. It's a 3v2. All we need is Amin to come over here and try and put the plant down, and there we go. Cinnamon just happens to miss the smoke, but it looks like the plant's coming down, and there we go. Wesley's not able to get the diffuser taken out, and he gets taken out by Amin, or I'm sorry, he gets taken out by Fury, and attackers win round number 6.
Yeah, I thought the defenders had it there when we've got another quote from chat. The boggers is bonkers. When boggers took out the 2 SAS operators, I thought the defenders had it in the bag. The Thatcher was off the board. They might not have been able to open the site walls, but they just they changed their plan. They went down main stairs and they dropped the hatch and they just fragged out and traded out to get the win there. Very well played from the attackers in the end there. Make a split decision to change the plan of attack with losing 2 operators early on to the good roam of the Jaeger, and they just pushed site and traded and fragged out effectively. They played it well.
It was a very good play by the Jaeger there of Boggers, and it looks like this time around we are going to go all the way up to the tippy top of the map and go to Executive and CEO. Sly is going to back off the Legion and pick up the Kaid here. I do want to point out, in case nobody else noticed, every single SAS operator that could be brought was brought in that last round. You don't really get to see a whole lot. An entire CTU being in one of our games at the same time, at least in the same round.
It's good to see that, because even though they're some of the oldest operators in the game, it just shows that they're still viable at this stage, and this 5 years later after the game's we're in year 5 or whatever it is we're coming up to, and the operators are still being utilised. So for me, when you still see operators that were in such an early stage still being utilised and still in the meta, I think it's a good for the game.
And I mean, you can never go wrong with Smoke with his plant denial ability plus line of sight. Being able to cancel that out with his smoke grenades. And I mean, come on, the SAS shotgun. It's the best shotgun in the game. Don't have
Attackers are moving to defuse the bomb.
If you hit your shots,
yeah. As long as you are right in front of the person and you are able to land every single pellet.
I would still say I would prefer Ellis shotgun. It's more consistent.
I mean, you
don't have to aim.
Yeah, you don't have to aim. You don't have to think when you play Ela.
Yeah. You just hit fire and go for the spam.
Speaking of Ela, Som will be on her with the Scorpion and will be down here in Tellers. So far, it doesn't really look like we have anybody into sight here, or into the building at least from the attackers. We do have Cinnamon over here in the very front lobby, but I don't really consider that to be into the building yet, because that's not really where most of the action happens. It sounds like Wesley's going to be able to get droned out here, but he's going to take it out relatively quickly and just try and hold over here in the hallway by the office. We do have Boggers once again on the roam. He will be on a deep roam all the way down here into CCTV, over into servers, potentially try and come up for a late flank here.
Yep, Wesley was hanging out at the Canto spot there, wasn't he?
I keep forgetting that that's like now officially a thing.
Yeah, that's the call out.
It looks like Scar is going to have to deal with Sly over here, who is on the Kaid, but sadly it doesn't look like he's able to get anything. And Som's going to be able to pick things off here, or at least start them off with Cinnamon taken off the board. So that is the Nomad taken out. So, not a crucial operator, but definitely an operator you don't want to lose this early into the game. And there we go, Sly's going to be able to pick up Scar, so that is a set of frag grenades taken off the board. Fury's going to try and be able to get this wall fully taken out here. And it's just a 3v5 here. There we go. As Mean's going to be able to pick up some, so that is the Ela no longer on the board. But other than that, we're just going to try and hold position, see what we can find. Boggers is going to try and move up. Jimmy Killer's going to be able to pick up Sly, bring everything even. Dill's going to be able to refrag onto Jimmy Killer to bring it to a 3v2. So it is just Amin all by himself who's over in staff room. Doesn't realize that Boggers is coming up from behind, potentially going to be able to pick him up there. Curry's just on cams, trying to see what he can be able to find here. As Valk's holding a solid angle, Doc's moved over more towards site to be able to see what he can do, and Boggers is going to try and come up from behind onto Skylight. As we've got Fury and Amin both here in Janitor. Amin's going to back out, but sadly it doesn't look like Boggers is going to be able to see him, and there we go. Boggers is able to pick up Amin, so is Fury all by himself on the Maverick. He's into sight, he's going to have to try and contest, but sadly he can't. Defenders win round number 7.
Yeah, that was a very good play from Boggers there at the end. You know, he played his time downstairs. Nobody pushed him, nobody droned him. He just, you know, he chilled out down there. He wasted some time. Then he came up and hit the, you know, the unexpected flank on the Amin and shot him while he wasn't looking. So yeah, well played on the Boggers. Is playing good there on the Jaeger. He's you know, he's making an effective roam, even though it can be very difficult to roam on bank. He's pulling it off. He's really stepping up on this game.
What I will say when it does come to the roam, at least on bank, you've noticed, regardless of what site it is, the main roamer is always 2 floors away.
Yeah,
you know,
I
like
think
if
that's
it's,
probably
yeah.
Go ahead, sorry, Lick.
No, it's fine. Like if they're upstairs, they're down in the basement. The main roamer. If they're down in the basement, the main roamer is always upstairs, always on the top floor. It's really interesting to show that there is all of this depth that the defenders are trying to cover, and some of it is that they leave that middle floor open, so that way there can kind of be a bit of a collapse onto that floor from both sides.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think,
Attackers
you know,
need to
if the
locate
roamer,
and defuse as
like
many
like
bombs
in
as they can.
not this round but the previous round before, when the Jaeger picked up 2 guys up at Banana, you know, if the bomb site was bottom floor, he could have asked for help. You know, so somebody else to come onto the middle floor. So I got picked up 2 guys, come onto the middle floor, support me in my roam. That made it viable, like you say, because of that depth of the fact that bomb site on the bottom floor, roamer top floor. It's something that you can do in this game, and I've seen it done before.
So it looks like we're going to come all the way back down to basement
10
here
seconds to insertion.
over in CCTV. We might see
5 seconds
a
left before
difference
insertion.
here. What I would like to see potentially for the attackers is maybe
Attackers
do
are
a
heading
bit
out
of
to
a
defuse the
server's
bomb.
push, or if they choose to do garage, maybe try and do it all together rather than trying to split up their attacks. I do understand trying to split up their attack. It just kind of gives the defenders a little bit, keeps them on their toes, but it would be interesting to watch them all come in together rather than a little bit separate here.
Yeah, I think if you go garage, like, you need to go together to trade, because it's one doorway. You have one angle that you need to challenge, and if you lose one guy from that angle, there's no one for the refrag. I think if you have to do a garage push, you have to do it together, I think.
It looks like we have some over here on the Valkyrie along with the Jaeger all the way up on top floor as our 2 main roamers. And everyone else has kind of stayed over towards site rather than Wes, who will be holding blue once again with an ADS and a signal disruptor plus the shield, just in case he didn't think he was secure enough. But so far it doesn't.
Yeah, that's a normal position for the smoke.
Definitely. It looks like Fury's going to come up here. Maybe has a little bit of intel. At least saw the bullets from the Jaeger here. And he doesn't maybe know that... There we go. We just happen to see the little cam there. Don't know if anybody was on it. But at least they know the Valkyrie's there. Bogger's going to try and come around and see if he might be able to find anything. But we do just have Fury holding an angle. He decides to forego that. Decides that maybe he wants to keep looking. All he needs to do is shoot through the wall. He'd be able to pick him up, but he doesn't really know it. And there we go. Boggers is going to be able to pick up Fury. So that is the Maverick gone in the opening kill. And it looks like Cinnamon's going to be all by himself up here, at least for the time being, until if I can get to him, until the Sledge of Scar comes in to reinforce. Do a little bit of joining, try and see what we can find, and Boggers is going to be just hanging out over here towards the main stairs, along with Tom trying to see if they can find anything. They can tell that something was opened up. Amin's moved back into Tellers. And is he going to be able to get the kill on the Valkyrie? We got a panic knife, and sadly he loses that fight there to the Valkyrie, who lost at least about half of the health. Going to come up here, and there we go. We're going to be able to get a refrag here from Jamie Killer. Boggers is going to be able to pick up Scar, but Sentiment's going to be able to refrag. So once again, we are at a 2v3 with the Mute, the Smoke, and the Legion all still left alive with a fair amount of health left amongst them. And all we have is Jamie Killer and Cinnamon all by themselves, and at least we were able to get one of those hatches open, but sadly that EMP is going to get taken out by a Jaeger ADS, and he's not really going to be able to get much of an angle here. He's going to have to drop, see what he can do. He's going to hit that Goomite. He's not able to get shots onto the Legion. Cinnamon's going to be able to pick up Sly, so that is the Legion gone. All they have to do is try and go for a plant. They have 3 seconds left. Wesley's going to be able to pick up Jamie Killer, and there we go. Defenders win this one.
You are out of time.
Yeah, it seems to be the story when there's a Legion on the board. Defenders win on time. I wonder why. Those Legion traps, you know, they can really hinder you. If you have to stop and pull them out instead of planting, it's just, yeah, it can win round. It can win your rounds pretty much. Very strong operator, and I think that they had 2 guys left there in the 2v2. If he did manage to get the Legion trap out, I think we just saw a kill at the end as well. Actually, the planter probably would have got pushed 2v1 on the defender looking over. Probably would have traded him out, and then the planter probably would have got killed as well. So it was a good try from the attackers, but they lost. They lost the Maverick early on to the Rome of the Jaeger and the Valkyrie upstairs, and then they lost 2 hard breachers one after the other. But we did see a hatch get open, so some of the utility was used. But they lost, the important hard breachers of the Maverick and the Habana one after the other there from the Rome, from the dual Rome of Somant and Positively Boggers. So well played to those two. They really supported each other on that Rome there.
It was a very good job by them. And it looks like we're going to go to Teller's Archive here for round number 9, if I am not mistaken.
Attackers need to locate and
it's a little interesting. This time Dill will be running the Jaeger rather than Boggers, who has been doing a very good job, but this time he's decided to go with another equally as effective roamer in the Vigil. But also, if you didn't notice, there was a little bit of a tease there that we might potentially have fused. It might have been a better pick rather than Sledge, but at least with the Sledge you're able to do a decent amount of soft destruction, at least on the top floor for this site. All we need to do is get Sledge up in here and wreak some havoc, but it looks like Bogger's going to be upstairs, just like normal, to try and prevent anything.
5 seconds left before insertion.
Reloading!
Yeah, it's not a 2-floor roam this time. It's a 1-floor roam, so the Vigil's not a bad shout because they're immediately going to want to drone that top floor and get top floor control. And Positively Boggers being smart there, realising that they're going to push that top floor hard and going for the Vigil to help him on the top there. So we'll see if it works out for him and if he can give his team the edge in this 4-4 draw we've got going here.
Well, it looks like we have some support for Boggers, at least in the form of Jaeger. We're going to get one of those air jabs taken out, or pushed up here. And Cinnamon just not being able to see the Jaeger. He's going to take a decent amount of damage, and the Jaeger's going to be able to get away without any shots here. It looks like Boggers was going to get into a little bit of a fight here himself. And it sounds like it is from the Jackal of Jamie Killer. He's going to try and come around and see if he can pick up any footprints. Not going to be able to see the head of the Vigil here, sadly, so he's just going to have to try and figure out what he can do. Looks like Cinnamon's going to try and contest this once more, but it doesn't look like Jaeger's over here anymore. He's going to back over to the main hallway here. Jaeger's going to get some shots here from Fury, and he's going to get taken out, so that is the opening kill here. Bogger's going to come around, and he's going to be able to pick up Fury, so there we go, back even to a 4v4. And right as he gives way, there we have Jamie Killer coming into stock to try and get control from there. We're going to be able to get some footprints here, but will it be the Vigil?
Okay.
It is the Vigil. So they're at least going to be able to find him, even though their drones can't. Looks like we're just going to do a little bit more droning, trying to be able to find what we can see. It looks like Cinnamon's going to take top floor control here for his team. Everybody else just waiting, hanging on sight. Boggers is going to be over here in staff area while Amin's going to try and come over and open up this wall. And at least he's got a little bit of backup here in Scar. And we're going to hear that coming out over here. And there we go. Vigil's going to come over here. Might be able to pick up the Thatcher. There we go. There's the second one for him. He's going to try and do a shot over here. And there we go. Going to try and take out those Hibana charges through the wall. And Boggers is going to come around. Sadly, he's going to lose to Amin here. But the Valkyrie's going to come up and be able to pick up Amin. So now we're back to a 3v2. We have Cinnamon up top in Skylight, going to try and see if he's going to be able to do anything. Sadly, he's not going to be able to. JB Killer's still over here in stock, trying to see what he can find, potentially being able to pick up more of those footprints. And we have 3 full health defenders on site with 2 attackers, 1 with about half health, and 1 with full.
Attackers
At least they were able to get part of that wall open with the Hibana charges. Sadly, Jamie Killer
Attackers have
just
located a
happens to miss. I do believe that was the Valkyrie there. Gonna try and see if they're gonna be able to get anything. Not really gonna be able to. A C4 gets pulled out here. It gets tossed. And there we go. Wesley with a double kill to be able to give his team round number 9.
Yeah, Boggers again positively going off on that round. He was doing it all. He was roaming upstairs. He got a pick. He dropped the hatch. You know, went back to the middle floor. Smart play again. Once he got a pick, he went back down. Got another pick from the Thatcher. Took the Thatcher out of the game there, and then he made a punch hole in the wall and tried to help his team by shooting Hibana pellets off the wall. He's really picking it up this game. It's good to see. You know, an effective roam come out from the red team, because I believe, you know, they've been struggling in that department. Although they've been, you know, drawing games and winning games, they've mainly been an anchor team. But it's good to see a roam coming out from the red team here, and it's good to see it utilised well. I think they're feeding them good intel with the constant Valkyrie cams. So I've got no doubt in my mind that when the Valkyrie's dead or someone else on the team is dead, they're feeding the good intel to the roamer on that, and you know, bringing the Legion as well. They've got those audible cues of where people are pushing from. It's a very strong lineup they've got on going.
Right as you said that the Legion was being brought, we bring out the smoke this time around. Looks like we're going to go back up to Executive and CEO for our final round of this match, with it being a 4v5 so far in favor of
Attackers need to
Red
locate and
Redemption.
defuse bombs.
So we have an opportunity to see somebody come out as a winner, and that is only Red Redemption, or Vicious and Delicious might potentially come out with a draw here if they're able to win this round.
Yeah, the way that Red have been defending, I'm sort of inclined to say that they're going to come away with this round.
Attackers have
The
discovered the
roam's really
location of a
working out for
bomb.
them. The anchors are really doing well on site. They're staying on site. They're not peeking things. They're making the planters have to push them and plant effectively, which, you know, I think we
10 seconds
haven't seen
remaining.
one yet from this half. We haven't seen a plant yet. It's
5 seconds left.
very
before
interesting, isn't
Yeah.
it?
And we almost saw a plant, but sadly
Attackers are
the
moving to
Legion
defuse a bomb.
was the main issue as to why we didn't get a plant off here. Oh, and it looks like we're going to get a little bit of a spawn peek, and potentially that is from the Jaeger, I do believe. Or maybe it was the Valkyrie. It looked like it was the Valkyrie there of Som. He's going to be able to take a solid chunk of health off of Cinnamon here. It's a damn shame that they don't have Talk on their team to be able to try and get some of that health back.
Attackers dropped the diffuser.
Yeah.
Attackers recovered the diffuser.
Risky, but they must have the confidence for it. You know, you must have thought, you know, let's see if we can get an early pick and help us out with the roam.
Well, they have won around 3 rounds consecutively. They have been doing quite well. So I could definitely see where this confidence boost is coming from, at least.
Yeah.
And once again, we're going to have Boggers be all the way down here in CCTV on the roam. Like we said, we don't have any roamers on the first floor. Oh, everybody else is mainly back towards site. Amin's going to try and start opening the wall here.
Position to knock it down.
Going to be able to get one on each wall to try and get a solid bit of line of sight here at least, and it looks like we're going to have a little bit of droning to be able to find the Mozzie, but sadly that pest is going to be able to prevent that drone from coming in. And there we go, we have one of the frag grenades from Scar coming out. Potentially we're going to have a second one here, but the first one wasn't able to land its target. We're going to get the Doc droned out, but that drone's going to get taken out here. Jamie Killer once again pushing into stock, see if he might be able to find anything. And it looks like most of the team are just doing a little bit of roaming. It looks like Bogger's going to come up here on blue stairs, see if he might be able to pick anybody up on Skylight. But there we go. We have the Thatcher coming around. He's going to place a Claymore here on the main stairs. Try and prevent Boggers from coming up. And we have Sam moving now down towards Tellers there to try and be able to defend his team and help out. And Fury's going to be able to pick up Sly there, so that is the opening kill. And sadly, that is the smoke down here. And if you can't tell, it sounds like there is a C4 around here somewhere. You just happen to hear it just briefly. Looks like Amin's going to be the first one into sight. Looks like we're going for a plant here. Fury trying to hold from the angle. I'm not sure if the defenders know that there is a plant going on. Dill's just holding an angle, trying to see what he can find, but he's going to contest with Cinnamon holding an angle. Sam's going to be able to come around and pick up Jamie Killer. And there we go. Cinnamon's going to be able to pick up Dill. Plus, we also have both SAS operators on attack, holding angles from the window to try and see what they can do here. It looks like Jaeger's going to get a little bit of shots onto somebody, but not being able to finish it off. Sadly, Sam's going to be able to get taken down here by Amin. Looks like he's going to get refragged by Boggers, and Fury's going to get the kill onto Boggers here with the Claymore. And it looks like Doc's going to come around, but sadly he gets dropped, and it looks like, ladies and gentlemen, we have a tie in this game. Very good game. I do want to point out Fury Fighter there and Positively Boggers, both breaking double digits and having tremendous games. Sadly, it was a draw. You can't win them all. Sometimes you can't lose them either, as you can tell in this case. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us for our match between Vicious and Delicious and Red Red Redemption. I have been Lick. Alongside me has been Mr. Liam, or as we like to call him in the business, the Ash Rushing Maniac. Thank you very much, and we will catch you in the next one.